Hello everybody, welcome back to another JQ on the Go video. So as you can tell, I'm doing a voiceover here for some older clips I found of when I installed a throttle body and an intake on my 1999 Ford Mustang GT. So, in this first clip, I'm just taking some pictures so I can see where everything goes, especially when you're working on a car this old or any car in general. You want to make sure that you have a baseline and that you can put everything back correctly. So as you probably noticed in those other clips, the air intake I already took off. I would recommend kind of playing with the throttle body a little bit, then taking the air intake off. It is very easy, but as you can see, you kind of have to wiggle it around after you disconnect the clamps. Make sure not to lose anything or drop anything, just due to how old and brittle the plastic is on these old Fords. This connection right here, we got a 10mm bolt on this side and another bolt on this side. And over here, I just recommend having one of these little breaker bars just to give you a little bit more leverage, because you're probably working on a 15-year-old to 20-year-old engine here. So I just wanted to give you guys another perspective here. So these bolts are the 10mm bolts that I was talking about. There's one on each side. This is the EGR valve right here, and as you can see, this in general is the stock throttle body on your 2-valve 1999 to 2004 Mustang GT. I literally almost just knocked myself in the face. Try to get this one out. And now we should be able to pop this guy off, and I'm pretty sure this is called the EGR valve, if I am correct. Let's see. There we go. Next is this cable up here in the back, and these two bolts are also 10mm, and this is going to be what is holding on the throttle, cruise control, and the spring for the throttle, that whole mechanism or set of things up there. So again, as you can see, these are the two 10mm bolts that I was talking about here, and you can see this is the spring for the throttle. This here is the actual lever that opens up the flap inside the throttle body. Over here is the cruise control cable, but after you take this off, you should be able to disconnect the hook from this end, disconnect it from here, and pop this off of the throttle body. Make sure to not lose any of this, because you're going to put this back on the new BBK throttle body or most other aftermarket throttle bodies. So after you take that bracket off that was connected here, this is the cruise control cable, this is your throttle cable. I'm gonna take those off of here with the spring. But, see?
Flappy flap.
You can actually see it. Oh, there we go. Flap, flap. Okay. And now we're gonna disconnect this guy. So now after you remove all these cables, you're gonna remove this guy here, and then these two sensors you're gonna remove. Then you're gonna take the 5 bolts out that hold the throttle body to the plenum here. I'm pretty sure there's 5 of them. Right now So as I just spoke about, you're going to remove this sensor here. This is the throttle body sensor. Make sure to keep this, not to break it or do anything to it. I actually stripped the screws on mine, so I had to have a buddy drill it out. But either or, this you will be putting on the new throttle body, and make sure to keep this piece as well, because you will be putting this on the new throttle body. And again, I'm using BBK as an example. And then as you can see, these green arrows are the 5 10mm bolts that are holding down the throttle body. They aren't too difficult to get to. Just make sure you take your time and be careful, because as you can see, this
is all plastic underneath the throttle body, so you do not want to break this intake manifold because, again, this is probably a 20-year-old Ford motor you're working on and you don't want to crack it. And after you have removed those 5 10mm screws, look around the throttle body, make sure everything is disconnected, and then slowly lift it off of the intake manifold.
So one thing as well, this is the gas fuel line, and then this is another line up front. You should try to remove both of these lines while you still have the throttle body screwed in. Makes it a little bit easier. Now we're going to plop this guy off over here and transfer over some of the hardware. Don't mind all my junk, but yeah. And as you can see, my hands are filthy, but besides that, the size difference of these guys.
So as I stated previously, there are some parts from the original throttle body which you will be putting onto your new BBK unit. In the BBK throttle body box, you should have received some gaskets, so make sure to put on the new gaskets when you connect everything to your new throttle body.
So update, this is the old throttle body. Let's see all the gook inside, but now I'm heading to my friends because the screw got stripped because they're old screws. Okay guys, so we're back now, and I'm gonna try to put this guy here, and you can see we ended up just like cutting a new line in this and made this screw a flathead. Okay.
So this piece here that we are putting on our new throttle body is the throttle body sensor. This piece you're going to get again off of your original throttle body, and I'm kind of moving it back and forth because there's a little tongue in the throttle body, and that's what holds the idle when you are not on the throttle. So make sure you kind of play with this, make sure it fits in well. There is no gasket for this part of the throttle body, and those 2 screws that you have on the top and the bottom, do not tighten them down all the way, as after when you start the car, you're going to move the little throttle body sensor up and down to kind of get your idle correct. And if I remember, I would say that my idle was right around 800 RPMs. So as you can see here, my dad Tom and I are buttoning up everything on the new BBK throttle body. Tom is tightening the EGR valve, and I am putting those 2 screws back in the top of the spring for the throttle. It is always nice to have another set of hands when working on a car. So, as you can see from this clip, my dad Tom is playing with the mass flow air sensor. You're going to keep that from the original air intake and put that on your new one. I used an Airaid intake for this install here. And again, you can see that little bit of shake in that throttle body sensor. That is the new throttle body in, and it is very shiny and very, very nice. As we are coming to the end of this video, I'm just going to talk a little bit about the install and how the process went overall, because I was not able to find too many other clips of the engine. So this is everything completed. You can see that we have our BBK throttle body with our Airaid intake with everything back in. And I have to say, one of the biggest pain in the butts was getting the throttle body to go around the new intake. That kind of flange and seal there is very, very tough. So me and my dad Tom took a good 30 to 45 minutes just playing with that. Now I am posting just some pictures, some diagrams that I found online, giving you more of the exact terminology and names for everything. If you have any questions about this install, please make sure to let me know. You can comment down below on this video, or check out any of my other social medias and you could direct message me there. I know I am just a backyard mechanic, a son and dad working on his car, but I wanted to share this video just to give you my experience. Overall, the install did take us a good weekend, I would say. Definitely give up your whole entire Saturday for this. Make sure to take your time and do your research. Without further ado, I hope that you would like, comment, and subscribe, and I will see you guys in the next video. Have a great day.
Just starting it after the one new coil pack.